Hey guys, this is an admin command video a lot of you guys have been asking for. Below in the description, I've broken it up for each command, so if there's a specific command that you're chasing, look below in the description, it's all there. Please join my Discord, follow me on Twitter, you can keep up to date with what I'm up to, and you can be a part of my community. Share this video far and wide to help other admins and players in Rust. I hope you guys enjoy the video, and thank you guys so much for the support. Alright. So this one here is spectate, guys. So what you want to do is you want to press F1, you want to type in spectate and press enter. It will take you to somebody on the game that is doing something. This guy's hitting a wall. Now from here, you can see that you're watching the person from the first person views that you get from FacePunch. Not really helpful in my opinion, you can't really see what the hell's going on. If you press F3, it'll take you to this view, okay? So F3 again will take you to first person, F3 will take you to another first person, press F3 a couple more times, it'll get you to the third person. You can use your mouse wheel to scroll up and down to zoom in and out of the player, okay? That is spectate. Now if you want to go to another person via spectate, you don't have to press F1 and type spectate again, you can just press spacebar. When you press spacebar you go to another person. Spacebar again, another person, and so forth. Keep going through from person to person, okay? If you were to press control, it also does change person, okay? By rights, control is supposed to go to the previous person that you were just spectating. Doesn't always work like that, okay? Control and spacebar to move forward and backwards is supposed to be like that. It doesn't always work like that, okay? But that's how you do spectate. Alright. Now the next one I want to show you guys is debugcamera, okay? So basically it's debugcamera in F1 and you debug off the entity, okay? You can bind this to a key so that you can just debug anytime you want. So I can just press a key bind here and I debug off him. My key bind is P, so I go bind P debugcamera. One word, okay? That binds it to P. Now whenever I press P, I spelt it wrong. Debugcamera. Whenever I press P, it debugs off the entity. Okay, so that's debugcamera. Now you'll notice that debugcamera is very jerky. Okay, you guys, it's very hard to try and maneuver around and get into stuff to see what's going on. You can change these settings here. Okay, you can do cam speed. One word. 0.4 is what I personally use. Okay. That changes the speed of the camera. So I don't want it all fast and moving around like crazy. I want to be nice and slow and get into those positions so that I can do these other commands. The other one I do is cam lerp 0.05. This is my settings, guys. You can put whatever values you want in here. Muck around with it. Get something that you guys like. These are the two that I use so that I can... These are what I feel are good for me. Okay, so now when I'm moving around, it's not jerky and it's not fast. It's not, you know, hard to try and get into an entity like this to check it, or a box to check it, or a sleeping bag. I can maneuver around nicely around the player, or just those sorts of things. Nice and easy. That is debugcamera with changing your cam speeds. All right, now we've got our mate here, Flacco. You guys all know Flacco. Another great admin. Admins for some of the servers I admin for, plus others. He's our little dummy here today. So we want to see who's authorized on his base. Okay. We've been spectating him. We know he's a little dirty cheater. We're about to come here and shit on him. So we're in his base. We're spectating him. We want to see some information on the TC. So we would debug off the entity by using the bind that you put, or F1 debugcamera. You come over to the entity here. Make sure you're looking at the entity, okay? You can zoom in, hold your right-click mouse button. You push your mouse forward or pull your mouse back. That will zoom you in or out. So right-click, push forward to go forward, pull back to come back. That's how you zoom in and out in debug, okay? I want to get in on here. I want to make sure I'm looking at the code block, okay? When I do that, I press F1, type ent auth. So you can see I'm authorized on the code lock. How you can tell that this is a code lock and not a TC or something else is because it says is guessed. you can only authorize on a code lock as a guest. You can't authorize on a TC as a guest. You can't authorize on a turret as a guest. Okay. So when it comes up and tells you that, that means that they are a guest. Okay. So if I had an X here, it means that I have the guest code as well with the main code. Okay. Now the TC, if I run the same command, ent auth, you can see here 2 people show up. Okay. So this will tell you that the code lock was placed after the TC was put down, and Flacco is yet to auth on it. But I just wanted to prove and show you guys that there's 2 different entities here to auth on. Okay, there's a code lock and there's a TC. So check both. All right, because you may have 2 different variants. Some people, and look, you know, it does happen. I've seen it. They auth on the code lock and not the TC. Okay, I don't know why, but mate, there's some pepegas in this world. All right, so we've got ourselves the TC here, and then we've got ourselves a code lock as well. Okay, 2 different entities we can do ent auth on to check who owns them. Another entity, and let's just quickly change this to daytime. I'll show you that command soon. Is a turret. Okay, you can authorize on a turret. So I can see that both of us are authorized on this turret. If I do it on a wall, it gives me an error. You can't authorize on a wall. That's a completely different command that we'll get to. Code locks, turrets, TC. They're the 3 that you can do that I can think of at the moment. I don't think there's any other authorizations that you can do anything on. But they're the 3. All right? All right. Okay, the next one that I'm going to show you guys is ent who. So this will tell you who owns the entity. So if I come to the TC, I press F1, type ent who, it gives me the ID of the person that owns it. Okay, so that is the steamID of the person that owns it. So what you want to do is you want to copy, type in copy here, press enter. That copies this. If I paste it, you can see it copied everything that was in here. Okay, now if you've got a bunch of shit written in here, like this, okay, and you press copy, it's going to copy everything you've got written here. All right, I don't really like that because it's just a whole bunch of shit I'm going to have to delete out to get to his steamID. All right, so what I do is whenever I press F1, see how it automatically clears itself? If I do console toggle, and if I bind F2 to console toggle, you'll see that F2 now, so I'm pressing F2, if I type some stuff and press enter, it doesn't delete it now. Okay? But if I was to press F1, it will delete it. So basically, if I wanted to do ent auth on here, and it comes up with that, whenever I press F2, or it'll be F1 for use unless you use this next one, it keeps coming up. So it'll always have a trail of shit here. Whenever I press F1, see how it's cleared? I like that. It's nice and clean. The rest of the shit that I've ran before isn't there because it's irrelevant to me. Whatever I've run before, I've already copied it. And if I muck up, I can just go back and copy the stuff again. Okay? And now when I press F2, it's also cleared because I've already cleared my console. So what you want to do for that one is you want to do this here. Bind F1, console toggle, console.clear. So it toggles a console and it clears a console at the same time. So whenever I press F1, it clears it. Okay? F2 doesn't clear it. Alright, you can have 2 different ones if you want to have 2 different ones, but whenever you press F1, it's going to clear it. I like to have it cleared so that whenever I'm coming up here to do this, ent auth, oh yeah, sweet, that's who the people are, copy it, bam, Alt-Tab, I'm onto a notepad typing that down so that I can copy both steamIDs, put notes down on people, all those types of things that I do. Okay? Alright, so a little bit more with ent who. We can also do it on any entity. We can do the sleeping bag, ent who. You can see that that bag was placed down by me as well. Alright? If we go to this wall, ent who. Different steamID. This is Flacco's steamID. Alright? So we know that this wall here was placed by Flacco. This wall here was placed by Flacco. The door here I put down was placed by me. The code lock also is an entity you can see who placed the entity. All right? Was me. I placed it. Okay? So we know that those things are the things I placed, those things are the things that Flacco placed. So if a cheater comes along and spawns in this bag, okay, and I go ENT who on the bag and it's not his entity, it's somebody else's entity, you know that that person placed the bag down and gave the bag to the cheater. Okay? Easy clap. All right. Now, let's say that, you know, we've got old Flacco here that's a dirty little grubby cheater. All right? You can do this while in spectate, but you can't change the code. So, say that I was here and, I don't know, whatever's happened. Maybe you're on a server where you do help people and, I don't know, something's happened. They've been code raided or who knows, okay? None of this would ever happen on the servers I admin for. If you get code raided, that's your, you know, you secure your shit. But I use this for when there's a cheater on the server and he's played with a group and potentially I'm not going to blow the base up. The owner said, look, don't blow this one up, Cam. Just change the door codes. Yep, no worries. So what I'll do is I'll do F1 ENT unlock. That unlocks the code. You see it goes green? It's unlocked now. So if I was here in person, because you can't do this from debug, you can't interact with nothing, I would then change the door locks, okay, and then lock it. I'll just spam a key in there because I don't give a shit what the hell a key is. I don't play the server. It's just going to be random so that they can't come back to the base. And then I do ENT lock, or you just lock it yourself. But there's ENT lock and ENT unlock, okay? Both those commands, that is to unlock and lock any entity, like a code lock, a key lock, those types of things. Okay, the next one we want to run into is the layer toggle. I know you guys really are interested in this one. Now this one here is how you toggle those layers so that you can see through walls and see what people are doing. You can remove all these other entities like the doors, the other shit, and you can have just nothing there. Okay, I choose to have those types of things there because I want to know where the TC is. When you're in a massive base, I want to know where that TC is. So I come zoomed up like this and then I have a look around. I go, oh yeah, there's a TC there. And I can go straight on into it. Okay, so this is the layer toggles. All right, so basically it's just toggling these. Okay, but it's doing it with a bind so that you don't have to come here and click it every single time. So I will just copy and paste this one for you. This is the one that I use. Okay. Oh, why is copy paste not working today, mate? My God. Right, there it is there. Okay. So this is the command. So say that I wanted to bind it. So bind J, which is what I use, is that. So whenever I press J, it's toggling those commands. J, 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 like that. All right. If I wanted to bind, just say one of them. If I wanted to bind the world, you can delete all this. You don't need the brackets when you've just got one, or you don't need the brackets at all, to be honest. If I do bind J layer.toggle world, all it will do will get rid of the world now. That's it. So all it's doing is getting rid of the world toggle. All right. So I go back to console, bind J layer.toggle world, semicolon, then do layer.toggle water, capital W. Has to be a capital. Has to be a capital. You can see the water is now disappeared. But say any of these other things that you don't want. So I can literally go along and remove half this stuff like this. So there's clutter. Is that shit. If you don't want that in the game, you can remove it. Water, remove. World, remove. Click on the ones, trees, obviously. Terrain, you know what terrain is. Ragdoll, I guess that's dead bodies. Deployed. So if we were to go construction here, you'll see that default is the one that removes the shit. The code locks stay there, but the rest of it removes. So you can literally just have nothing there. So they're deployed, things that you can place down on the ground, which really should be boxes maybe. Transparent AI is the person. So you can see the person has disappeared. Probably not one that you want to do. If I turn all these back on, you can see there's a gun just floating in the air. We remove Flacco out of the way. And now there's just a gun floating. Okay? Whatever you want to do, you bind it to a key. Okay? Remember capital at the start of every single one. Capital, capital, capital. Because if you don't, okay, if you don't do that and you do a small W, whenever I press J, it doesn't work. Nothing works. Okay, it's not toggling the world. Whenever I go back here and do a capital, it toggles the world. Capitals, guys. Alright? And that's the bind to remove the flaw and all the rest of it to suspected ESP pieces of shit poo-poo heads. Alright? Good stuff. Okie dokie. The next one is going to be admin time. Alright, you can see that it's just coming daytime here on this server. This one is going to be admin time. Okay, so you can see all of these different commands for admin. So there's adminclouds, adminfog, adminrain, admintime, adminwind. You can see it's raining at the moment. It's a bit shitty. The sun's all the way over the other side, or it could be in your eyes, or whatever it may be. Alright, if I press 9, which is my keybind to change the sun for me and the weather, you can see there's no more rain. It's nice and clear. There's no fog. And if I go back and press admin, you see that all of these have changed. 0, 0, 0, 13, and 0. 13 is the admin time I want because I like that time of the day. The sun's up in the air. It's out of your view. It's nice. It gives me a clear daytime. I don't have to put up with clouds and fog and rain and shit. Alright? Now if I press my other bind, which is 0, it takes it back to in-game time. It's raining. It's shitty. There's a little bit of fog around. Not too bad. There's definitely worse days than this in Rust. Okay, but if I go back to admin, you can see that all these values have changed. -1 is default. Okay? Those commands I will be putting on the screen now for you guys. So basically, semicolon whenever you're doing another command next to each other. Alright? So it's admin time 13, which is the time of the day I want. Then admin cloud 0, admin fog, admin rain, admin wind, all 0. Alright? For the other one, these will be in the description as well as all the other commands, guys. Just better copy. Okay, I did. Admin time, -1, -1, -1, -1, -1. So it changes that. Bind it to a key. I've got this bound to 0 and I've got the other one bound to 9. So whenever I press 0 or 9, that happens. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Alright, so the next one is to report a player. Say that our mate here, Flacco, has been just aimbotting people all over the server. Alright? You can press F7, you can type report player, you can find Flacco in the list, okay? Like this, and you can report him. If the person doesn't show up in the list, say that they've left the server, say that they're not coming up in your list. This can be done by a player or a admin, anybody. Anybody can run this command, alright? You press F1, you type report player, then their steamID. If you don't know their steamID, it's going to be a little bit hard, okay? But if you've got their Steam account and things like that, you should be able to get their steamID. You put their steamID in here. Type their steamID. I've put Flacco's for example. Press enter and it'll automatically bring me up Flacco's report, okay? Where I can report him for these 4 things, all right? You fill out the report, whatever, and then send it off, okay? Flacco shouldn't get game banned off that because he's not cheating. But if you suspect somebody is cheating, fill out an F7 report like that. If you don't see them in the list whenever you press F7, okay, you can do it that way. Report player, 1 word, space, their steamID. It'll bring up that picture and you can fill it out from there. Easy. Alright, this command here, guys, is to turn on God mode. I personally never have God mode off. I don't play the servers, so there's no need for me to not have God mode on. And I'm very rarely in person at a person unless it's to remove them from the server because they're a cheater or playing with cheaters. So basically this is just God. So God space true or God space false. You don't need the global in front. It's just the way that the command came up. Okay, so that turns God mode on or off. Right, as I said, I always have it on because there's no need for me to ever have it off. Alright, this next command is noclip. So this is so that you can fly around like this. Okay, and noclip through the air. Now I have it bound to a key. Basically, it's just noclip. Okay? And you can see I'm flying like that. and then noclip again, and I fall to the ground. Bind this to a key by doing bind space whatever the key. I use L like that, so whenever I press L, I'm flying. Press L and it'll stop me from flying. Okay, nice and easy. The next one that I'm going to show you is done via being on the server. Alright, you have to be in person to do these ones. So make sure that whoever you admin for, that you're allowed to be in person to do these things that I'm going to show you. Now, the first thing is going to be to teleport to the player. Alright, now if you're not invisible, if you don't have Vanish on the server, which is shown by the bottom left hand screen just there, that I'm in Vanish. If you don't have that, I suggest not teleporting to a player, okay? Because they're going to see you, the cheater's going to see you, players are going to see you, whatever, alright? So, this one here is just basic teleport, alright? It's to teleport to Flacco. Now, Flacco's in his base. He's asleep. He got game banned. We're here to do the investigation, whatever it may be. Alright? He's over here having a little bit of a sleep. This is how you teleport to him. Alright. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to teleport to Flacco again for a different scenario. And now Flacco is out in the wilderness. He's nowhere to be seen near a base. We don't know where the flying flamingo crap Flacco is. Okay, we don't know where his base is. He's left the server. You know, not really much help to us because he's not in a base. He's not logged off inside his base, or if his body was dead and we couldn't teleport to him. This next command will help you guys teleport to the player's entities. Alright, so that command is teleport, the number 2, owned, item, space steamID. These will all be in the description. Teleport to owned item, space steamID. If I press enter, see it teleports me to a campfire. If I press the up arrow, which will run my last command, I press enter, it takes me to here. I can see that he's got a stash here. Go to the next one, I can see he's placed another stash here. Next one, he's placed this chippy machine. Next one, he put this floor at this base. Okay, this is all in the same area, by the way. This is all here at this base, besides the stashes. But I just wanted to show you guys that you can do that, and you can find the person's entities by that. So whatever entity they want, you can keep going. You can keep going right through. All the way through every single entity. So he's placed some pumpkins here. Place another stash there, blah, blah, blah. Okay? Those stashes, Flacco jumped on to place around for me so that I could show you teleporting to different areas of those person's entities. Alright, so we know that Flacco's base is over here at C17. Alright, we're on top of it. So we know that that base is here. I mark this base because I want to come back to it. Say that Flacco's over wherever the hell Flacco is. I don't exactly know where his body was. He's sleeping somewhere. Say that I was over at Flacco and watching him fight or PvP or whatever, and I go, yeah, fuck, he is cheating. What we're going to do is I'm going to go back to his base and check all that information over at his base while he's over there and he's just died. You know, he's not going to harm anybody now because he doesn't have a weapon or whatever it may be. I want to teleport back to his base. Nice and easy. I've marked it for easy access next time. If you want to teleport to your marker, you can do that in the commands. You do teleport to marker. One word. It will teleport you to wherever you place that marker. Right there. Okay? Now, I've clipped it underneath the thing. But if you were to place the marker here, okay? Same thing. Up arrow, last command, teleport to marker. And I'm all the way over where my marker is. Nice and handy for wherever you spawn on a beach. If you have, you know, this, people are whinging because fucking bandit camp, there's a tree spawned at bandit camp and it's clipping through the whole lot of bandit camp and people can't see and they can't hit the tree because no fucker's got a... I don't know. Whatever scenario it is, you can teleport there nice and easy as an admin so that you can investigate and be a bit more efficient getting there quicker, and then everyone's happy. Alright, this next one I don't really use too much. Okay, but it is handy, say that if I didn't want to press this and find where Dome was and click on it, okay, I can just go teleport LOS. and it teleports me to wherever the fuck I'm looking. If I look all the way to that tree up there, teleport LOS, and I'm all the way over here. Okay? Teleport line of sight, really. Teleports me to the edge of the line of sight that I can see. So wherever I aim to. And I could just keep doing this across the map. And it'll keep teleporting me to the line of sight. Okay? Not really that handy, but a good thing for people if they want to, you know, just skip across the map. For whatever reason, I don't know. I don't use it much. Alright guys, now this one here is teaminfo. Basically, it will show if the person is in a team or not. And you can do that by doing teaminfo, one word, space the steamID. And it will show you that this player is not in a team. Now this is Flacco's steamID. If I was to come here, create a team and invite him, you can see he's in my team down the bottom here. Run the command again, and you'll see both of us are now in a team. You'll see it says that we're both online, and I'm the leader. Alright, this next one, guys, is if you want to teleport the cheater to yourself, or player to yourself. Say that I'm inside this cheater's base. Flacco's the dirty little fucking cheater. What we want to do is press F1, type teleport to me, one word, the number 2, teleport to me, space, the steamID. Press enter, and it will teleport that player to you. So that you can sit here and go, hey mate, everyone's got a story. What's your story? That's a genuine response from a cheater. Well done, Flacco. Okay, the next command is to check somebody's combat log. Now, we got our dirty little fucking cheater Flacco here. He's been running around and headshotting every single person on the server. Everybody's reporting him because he's triple headshotting constantly. Everybody. Headshot, triple headshot. People are just spamming that he's triple headshotting people. We want to come and see if that's the case. We do combat log, space, the steamID. Okay? You can see it brings up here who the attacker is. It'll say you because you're running the command of that person like they were just doing a combat log. You being the person, him, the target, which he fucked this bear up. I literally watched him, man. It looked like aimbot to me. The distance, the HP, and, you know, all the other stuff that you guys would see in your own combat logs, okay? He hit the bear's corpse here quite a bit. I think that's a little bit of admin abuse mixed in with some cheating. So there's a combat log to run for any player. Combat log space, steamID. Alright guys, now we've got our dirty little cheater Flacco here. We've grilled him and, you know, we've let him know that cheating's not a good thing to do. Now we don't want him to be able to come back into loot or to have a base or anything like that. So this command will delete any entity from him on the server. Alright, as you can see he's putting his hands up because he's surrendering. So we can do F1, then do delete by, one word, delete by, space, steamID. Now guys, if you admin for somebody, make sure you're allowed to run this command. Alright, because this will delete every entity of that player. Okay? Very risky one, okay? You need to make sure that you're running it, the right person, the right steamID, all of those things, because if not, you could completely wipe out someone's base. Alright? We've do this in front of Flacco to see his whole base crumble. You can see 49 entities that he had, and you can see all of his shit is gone. Get wrecked, dirty cheater. And there we go, he's just been game banned. Easy clap. Now, you'll see this hasn't been removed. It's because I own the entity. I'm the one that placed this, because when Flacco placed this foundation, it was so damn high, I had to put a lower airlock into it. So, ENT who? We can see that's my steamID. Copy it. Delete by my steamID. You can see I got 8. And it's gone as well. Alright. GG. Cheater's gone. Their base is gone. So with that command, the reason why I like deleting people's entities, okay, the cheaters' entities is because they can't just come straight back to loot. They can't come back to a base and get into a base to be able to grab loot straight away. So the two options I like to do is change their door codes or remove their entities. Alright? They're the two things that are preventative. If that cheater does come back on your server quickly, they can't come straight back to loot. They have to start fresh on the beach with a rock and a torch, like every other bastard.